Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, and welcome to another edition of Odds and Ends, where we're going to go over several different news events going on within the world of the women's divisions of mixed martial arts. Doesn't have to be directly fight related, but it's all going to be WMMA related. First up, Chinese MMA fighter Xi Ming announced via Instagram that she is being honored by being featured on a stamp in her home country of China. Go ahead and read off the Instagram post here. Said, China Post decided to do a fighting-related stamp collection this year for 2020. They selected me as the main protagonist of the collection. National flower peony and gold lettering on top of box, signifying the prosperity of the motherland with stamps and memory coins. She said, difficult year for all of us. Keep fighting COVID-19. Tide over difficulties. Hashtag China Post. Hashtag Road FC. Hashtag stamp collection. Hashtag stamp. So if you go to her Instagram, it'll show all of them. I'll show some of the pictures here. They made a thread about her accomplishments, her fights, and you can see the full collection of the stamps, including several of her fights in, actually almost all of these pictures are from her fights in Road FC in Korea. Now, Xi Ming fought recently for WLF Wars. She fought for them 4 times in 2020, winning all 4 of her fights there and winning their strawweight tournament. So she had a lot of good momentum this year. She's also a part of the UFC Performance Academy at the UFC Performance Institute in Shanghai. Now, you know, it seems like there's never anything without controversy in MMA. I decided to post this Instagram post and share it on Reddit on both the r/MMA and r/WMMA subreddits. And you know, immediately people are like, well, why did they pick Xi Ming? Who the heck is she? Why didn't they pick Zhang Weili? Why didn't they pick Xiong Jingnan? They've accomplished more. And you know, one person even went to basically go, well, she's a tool of the CCP. They picked her because of looks. And this poster even went so far as to basically calling her a bootlicker. Now look, I'm not going to get into Chinese politics on here. That is not the purpose of this thing. But you know, it really drives me nuts that, you know, MMA fans as a whole and in general, you know, they just have a hard time being happy and satisfied with anything. Here you have not just an MMA fighter, but a woman's MMA fighter, a living fighter, being featured on a collection of stamps for the National Postal Service in the most populous nation on the planet, and they're just not happy. You know, it drives me nuts because I know in the U.S., I'm like 99% sure that you have to be dead before you'll be featured on a stamp. And here she is, just had a great year and is being, you know, the main feature on a series of stamps dedicated to fighting. And of course, you got people bitching, moaning, and complaining. Listen, MMA fans, learn to take a win. Learn to be happy with good news without trying to, you know, question it, complain about it, or drag it down. Take a win. In other fight sponsor-related news, Bellator featherweight Leah McCourt has been sponsored in an historic agreement with Everlast. This article comes out of fightpost.co.uk. You can go visit them and check it out. It says, Bellator star Leah McCourt signs historic agreement with Everlast. Bellator star Leah McCourt signs historic agreement with Everlast. Everlast Worldwide, the world's leading manufacturer, marketer, and licensor of boxing, MMA, and fitness equipment, is proud to announce its latest ambassador, mixed martial arts sensation Leah McCourt. McCourt has signed an exclusive multi-year fight sports equipment and sports apparel agreement with Everlast, and in a groundbreaking first for the iconic brand, is the first female athlete to be placed on an apparel deal from the UK. The 28-year-old from Saintfield, County Down, Northern Ireland, fights under leading MMA organization Bellator, with the powerful 5'8" featherweight currently holding a 4-1 pro record. As an amateur, McCourt won gold at the 2016 IMMAF World Championships and was a World and European International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation champion, as well as attaining a black belt in Judo. Known as The Curse, McCourt trains with world-renowned MMA coach and Conor McGregor striking coach Owen Roddy at the famed Straight Blast Gym Charlestown in Dublin. In February, McCourt created history when she became the first female in MMA history to headline an event in Europe when she defeated Judith Ruiz at the 3 Arena in Dublin. Then, due to fight Janae Harding at Wembley Arena in May, the fight was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Renowned for her intensity, energy, and speed, McCourt also has displayed high levels of self-determination and sacrifice to get to the top. These attributes have helped her become one of the most dynamic women's MMA fighters in the world, but have also made her an inspirational figure, and it goes on also to talk about her being a young mother. And I gotta say, first of all, congrats to Leah McCourt. This is a huge deal, and a huge deal not only for Leah McCourt, but also for women's MMA, for women in sports, UK sports women. I mean, the article just mentions a whole bunch of things that make this a huge deal. So you know what, Leah, if you're watching this, congrats. And I feel that she's going to be a good fit for Leah McCourt. Listen, not only is she a young, promising prospect in the sport, but just look at her. She is a stunning young woman, and she ticks off a lot of boxes that any apparel company looking to sponsor a fighter is going to want to see in someone that they're looking to sponsor, of course. So congrats to Leah. Good luck with the sponsorship, and congrats to Everlast for reaching out and signing and sponsoring a young, promising women's mixed martial arts prospect. Over to some MMA news. Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson is back on. It's going to be scheduled for UFC 259 on March 6th. This is per Brett Okamoto of ESPN. Now, this fight was originally scheduled for UFC 256 on December 12th, this past Saturday. It got pushed back due to unknown reasons for coming out of Amanda Nunes' camp. Now, Nunes' last fought Felicia Spencer in June 6th at UFC 250. Anderson last fought Norma Dumont on February 29th, which means that it will be just over a year away from the cage for Megan Anderson when she steps in for her toughest test to date against the women's featherweight champion. Now, I've talked about this fight before. I think that a lot of people, I believe, are rightly favoring Amanda Nunes to win. She's a faster fighter. She's most likely the overall stronger fighter. She is definitely the better fighter on the ground. A couple advantages that Anderson has is that she does hit hard, same as Nunes, and Anderson has that length and reach that she could use. Now, I still think that it's going to be a tough test for Anderson, and I think that Nunes is rightly favored in this fight, but glad to see it back on. It's going to go down, as I said, March 6th at UFC 259. Heading over to Japan, it's a little bit of out with the old and in with the new for Japanese women's mixed martial arts promotion Deep Jewels, as they have announced that they are retiring their old belts, the red belts, and are introducing the shiny new white belts. Now, some of the features on this new white belt is that instead of just saying Jewels, it now has the Deep Jewels name, and it is also updated with the updated weight classes, whereas the atomweight belt used to say featherweight under the old Jewel system. It now is updated to say atomweight champion, and instead of saying Marvelous Japan, the promoter for the old Jewels promotion, it now says Deep Entertainment Japan. Now, the older red belts were a carryover from when Jewels was its own promotion. As I said, it was owned by Marvelous Entertainment Japan. Jewels was losing money and sold to Deep Entertainment, the promoter of the Deep MMA, and the name was then changed to Deep Jewels. And it taken them over, I believe, over 5 years for them to finally retire the old belts. Now, Microweight champ Amp the Rocket is the first to receive hers, and Deep Jewels has announced that they'll be starting an atomweight tournament in March to crown a new champion in the atomweight class. The title is currently vacant, and the winner of that tournament will be the first to receive the new white belt in the atomweight division. So I'll be honest, I really like the old Jules red belt, but I think there's a lot to like about this new Deep Jules white belt, and honestly, it was time to retire it anyway. It was just, it belonged to a promotion that no longer existed, but it was a carryover, and you know, Deep is finally reaching into their pockets, got these nice new shiny white belts, and I like the color on white. I like that they were red before. It showed out, you know, compared to all the black belts in MMA, and this white belt is going to stick out as well. Then finally, sticking with Japanese MMA news, a little bit of sad news as RIZIN Fighting Federation announced in a press conference earlier today that RENA Kubota will not be fighting at RIZIN 26 scheduled for New Year's Eve. You know, with RENA, whether it's her fast punches, her fast kicks, her body work, her punches to the body, or her slick submissions on the ground, she's never in a boring fight, win or lose. And you know what? It's going to be really sad to not see her there at New Year's Eve. She has become a staple for the promotion's New Year's Eve events. I believe she's been there for the past 3 or 4 years. RIZIN CEO Nobuyuki Sakakibara said they just had a hard time finding a local fighter who would be a fit matchup for RENA on such a short notice, considering that Japan still has some strong lockdown procedures that would require any foreign fighter coming in to go under 2 weeks of isolation before they'd be able to come out and train. So they just couldn't find anyone. They couldn't bring in a foreigner that would agree to go into lockdown for 2 weeks, and they couldn't find any suitable, you know, local talent. Now, he did also say, however, that he is looking to book a couple more fights, and said that he is looking at young female talent. But I gotta be honest, I just don't know who the heck he's looking at, thinking of, you know, signing to fight on such a short notice. Deep Jules, the all-women's promotion, just had an event on Saturday, and New Year's Eve is next Thursday. I have a hard time believing that any of those ladies are going to be taking a chance at fighting again in less than 2 weeks to prepare. So, RIZIN still has a couple of nice title fights scheduled for the ladies. Ayaka Hamasaki and Miyu Yamamoto are fighting for the vacant super atomweight title, and then Kana Asakura and Ai Shimizu are fighting as well in the super atomweight division. So those are my thoughts, and that's it for this edition of Odds and Ends. Let me know your thoughts on anything just went over in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you don't, that's fine as well. But while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.